Hello, I am coming to you from sunny South Florida, and the place that I am staying down in Fort Lauderdale is just, it's crazy. The energy is off the hook. It's full on spring break time. It's bananas. It's actually hard for me to describe, so I am just gonna show it to you. Take a look. It's really just me and my Uncle Morty. I'm just kidding. I don't even have an Uncle Morty. No, but seriously, it's really like me and this one other guy, and then a couple of kids who you might hear in the background. But I wanted to share with you today how I made a cool 5 figures in just about 3 weeks, which I don't know about you, but that's pretty exciting for me, in little time with little effort. Now, I know it's not always appropriate to talk about money, but because it's March Money Madness over at ErinStutland.com, and I promised that I was going to be sharing some money techniques with you this month, I thought this was a good time to make this video. Now, about 4 years ago, I created a program called Magical Manifestors, and I got together a group of 5 or 6 people at a time and taught them techniques on manifesting. And over the 4 years, I distilled the content, I learned from my students, and I took what was really working and I made it like the best possible program that I could make. And really, the techniques that I taught in the program were, a lot of them were the spiritual techniques, were what kind of shifts did you need to make to attract what it is that you want? What are the beliefs that you need to change, or the thoughts that you need to change, or the conversation that you're having in order to really have what it is that you want? Now, of course, we also focus on the outer stuff, the actions that you're taking, the deadlines you set up with yourself. Are you getting stuck with procrastination? So in November of this past year, I decided that it was time to turn Magical Manifestors into a digital course so that people from all over could do it, and I could make it really, really affordable. Now, I have to be totally honest with you in saying that I had no idea how to make a digital course. I had never made one before, but I felt like I got this divine inspiration and that I had to do it. So I knew once you have that divine inspiration, then there has to be a way to figure it out. So I put my nose to the grindstone. I reached out to people who I knew could help me. I delegated where I needed to delegate, and I said, you are going to get this done. Now, the tricky part here for me was when it came time for marketing. Now, I don't know if you are an artist or a creative entrepreneur or anyone who's like sort of sensitive. I know I am super sensitive, and when it comes to marketing, I'm like, oh God, I don't like talking about it. I don't like doing it. It is not my favorite thing, and I'm also really sensitive when I see people marketing things that feel like pushy or salesy or slimy. I'm like, ugh, I don't like that. So I sat down and I said, how are you going to get this out to the world? Because really, marketing is simply sharing, and you have to find a way to share it that is authentic and genuine to you. So I made a little video on my laptop computer, which maybe you saw, and I put together a page on my website, and then I just simply started sharing it with the people who I really cared about, with my newsletter, on Facebook, on Twitter, and just sharing it in the most authentic, genuine way that I knew how. And then here's the thing that I did that I want you to think about here. I made a little agreement with God, with the universe, and I said, look, you put whoever is supposed to have this material, whoever is supposed to learn these techniques, you put them in my path, and I will over deliver. I will pour my heart and soul into the product, into what I'm creating, into Magical Manifestors. If you send me 2 people, I will pour my heart and soul and I will over deliver to those 2 people. If you send me 50 people, I will be happy with those 50 people. No matter who it is, I will be happy. And no matter what, I will do my very best. That was my little agreement that I made. Well, before long, people started signing up from California, Florida, Indiana, Canada, Denmark. I've never even been to Denmark. And in the month of January, I started getting more and more requests, not just for the Magical Manifestors program, but for one-on-one coaching. So why am I sharing this all with you? It's not to brag, even though I gotta say, I think that bragging is a technique that we need to talk about because we need to do more of it, but we'll talk about that at a later time. But I am sharing this with you because I understand what it feels like to create something and not have any idea how you're going to see it through, to not know how you're going to share it with the world, to feel like it doesn't even make sense to create. Okay, there are 3 things that I want you to think about if you are working on a project of any kind, whether it is writing a play, a one-person show, an album, a product, or a service that you want to share. The first thing that I want you to think about is when you get a calling to create something, your job is simply to listen to it, to follow it through, and to see where it takes you. That's it. The second thing I want you to think about is when it comes time to market, so to speak, I want you to shift from the perspective of marketing equals pushy, being obnoxious, being gross, being rude, to the perspective that you are actually sharing your gifts. My guess is that if you spend hours and hours working on something, then you have poured all of your God-given gifts and talents into that product. Wouldn't it be a bummer if you didn't give those gifts out to the world? So you need to find a way to tell people about what you're doing in a way that feels authentic and genuine to you. And the third thing I want you to think about is letting go of the results. If this inspiration has hit you, then your job is really, again, simply just to create and to see it through. The results may not be exactly what you think they should be. It may not be that you make hundreds and thousands and millions of dollars on it. It may be that you actually learn a skill that you need to learn in order to make money down the road. So you gotta let go of the result. I want you to go ahead and leave me a comment below and tell me one action you are going to take as a result of watching this video. And it can't be that you're going to go on a trip to Florida and hang out with my Uncle Morty. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.